Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about gas valve. Let me finish the igniter because something happened with my recording and I couldn't finish the igniter section. So we checked the power. I told you how to check it on the multimeter. You put the alligator here and you can check. You remove the plug. Or if the igniter is not igniting, if you get 120, the igniter is not igniting, then you know there's something wrong with it. Now remember, if it is igniting but is not strong enough, it doesn't mean it's good, because the control board, as we said, is not sensing a healthy or meeting the control board standard amperage reading. If the amperage is less and it's igniting, but the control board is not happy with the amperage reading, it will still look like it's igniting, but there is a problem. But at least you know there's power coming. In case it's not igniting at all, you can check it from here. Now let me show you how you can remove the igniter. It's a little bit tricky because the place it's a little bit tight. So you need a really short, stubby quarter-inch bit. And I have this one. Basically, you can do it like it has a ratchet in it. So you put it here. Now this still not strong enough. So what you need to do in this case, I will show you in a minute. You might need a ratchet, which is better. So again, I couldn't put the stubby wrench in there. It's very tight. Make sure the power is off. Always, please make sure the power is off. And then, you go with the ratchet like this, and it will help you to take it apart. Now again, it's tight. It's really pain in the neck. And then basically, you're gonna try to undo the screw. If it's easy, you can later do it with your hand. And here is the igniter. Okay, so this is the igniter. Okay, so that is the igniter. See, sometimes there is residue on it. Again, I advise do not be cheap on the igniter. If it's like that, just put a new one. This can go anywhere from $16 to maximum. I mean, the most expensive igniter I have seen was maybe Lennox, was like $70. But think about it, it's 10 years minimum. So if you have any doubt, or if it's not igniting, it's really good to change the igniter anyway, because it's better for you for the long run. Again, if we want to eat, if you think about food, if you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you will need at least. Even if you go to the cheapest place, you're going to need $20 or $30. So think about this. For 10 years, just replace it if it's like that. Let me see. This one is, I believe, 2000. I think it's 2000. So it's already 20 years, I think. Anyway, so that you got the idea. When you put it back, go this way, right? And then put it in here. Be careful. Don't drop it like I almost did. Because this is very fragile and it can break very easy. And you put the screw back, okay? So we're gonna talk about. Oh, by the way, another advice I want to give you is I'm gonna show you in a second where is the exact location of it. Very close. So just so you know, here's the igniter. You see that's a guy. There's a screw in here. I will tighten it later, but in the meantime, just so you know what it is, okay? So I'm gonna also talk about after that we're gonna talk about the gas valve. So the gas valve has a different function. Basically, when the igniter is ready and it's igniting, it's energized, and this guy is running. The pressure switch already is happy with we're gonna go through that. We went through that earlier. And then when the igniter comes on, you're gonna hear a click. So that click is very important. Keep in mind, this happened after the igniter ignites, after 10 seconds, 20 seconds, depends on the model. You're gonna hear a click. That click helps you a lot because that click will tell you at least you know the power is coming in it, okay? Now inside the gas valve, there is a small stem, basically, and I want to show you, I want to talk about this because it's very important. So basically, this is a gas valve that I took it apart. Again, if you want to do that, do not put it back and use it. This is very sophisticated part. I'm not going to put it back. I just disconnected for illustration. I will never use it because this is only like factory sealed and stuff. So inside the gas valve, there's like a piston, you know. So basically, if you open this, it's all the same concept. There's like a piston. Basically, when the heat is on, right, this piston goes up, and then it allows the gas to flow. And here you see this coil. Basically, this goes in it, and this coil, when it's energized, it will push it up. Sometimes, believe it or not, because this is really old, this goes up and down every season like a zillion times. And think about 10, 20 years. Sometimes this doesn't come up, and it's stick here. So you're gonna hear a click. So even if you have a 24 volt coming to it, like you tested, and you hear the click, but there's no gas, that means that thing is stuck. Now again, it's not. I mean, I have seen people on YouTube saying it's dangerous. I don't think it's as dangerous. You might just hit it very nicely. Don't use a big hammer. You're not gonna break the thing. Just to cause some kind of shock, like, you know, some kind of vibration. You hit it. Don't hit it on this soft area and the metal, like here, like this. You might be able to release it, but again, it's not gonna be a long time fix. Long term, it's gonna be only till you get a new one for next day, so you can have heat. But don't leave it for a long time because you're gonna do it again. And sometimes, believe it or not, you can hear the click. The igniter is there, but there's no gas. The tenant, especially landlords, you know, the tenant didn't pay the gas, so they call me. I go there. They don't know they forgot to pay the gas bill, so there's no gas. I go to their oven. There's no gas, but everything's working fine. Only is gas missing. It's tricky. Sometimes can make noise, then click, and there can be gas in there. But again, this guy doesn't open. So these are the cases you have to remember. But if you don't hear a click, usually, let me bring the phone close and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna turn the heat on. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So it's gonna go on. Let's hear the click together. Make sure you pay attention to the click. Okay, so now as you see, the operation will go on, and actually I can bring my phone, my microphone. Sorry, I forgot I have a microphone. I'm gonna bring it close to the gas valve. So the gas ignition is coming down in here. So that click, keep in mind, it helps you a lot. If you don't hear that click, that means there's something really wrong. But keep in mind, sometimes the limit switches can interrupt the power to the gas valve, which is some system, not this one. Some system they have this stuff. Most limit will usually turn off the power for the main 24 volts. And all of them almost, they will turn the fan on right away, because remember, the limit only trips when the furnace is overheating. And then in order for the furnace to cool down and remove that heat, after the limit open, it will turn the blower on to cool it down. But a lot of times, some systems, what they do, the limit, let's say this limit will turn power for the main control board or main 24 volt. The rollout switch can only interrupt the power to the gas valve. So when you see no power coming to the gas valve, you don't hear the click. I would say 10% cases, it could be something else. Something is going on, is dangerous, and it's telling the board, hey, do not let the gas valve open because we have blah, blah, this stuff. So keep in mind this. But again, if you put the power and you see the gas valve, there's a 24 volt coming to the gas valve and it's not doing anything. In this case, sometimes that coil, as I was showing you earlier, this coil that's supposed to push that stem, that coil can be burned. There's also a way to check it, usually by ohm. And what usually you do, you put your probes here. You see this is common. So you do a resistance, like a ohm reading, and you go from here to here. you should see some reading. If you see like if you see OL, or basically infinite, like let's show you. I'm gonna go to ohm, right? So as you see, these two are open. When it's open, you're gonna have O dot L, which basically, I'm sorry here, it's gonna be open, right? That means these two, they're completely disconnected. Now, if I connect them together, you're gonna see zeros, right? So that means it's 100% short, 100% connected. If you see any of these, it's no good. Sometimes it could be the reading of the resistance very, very, very low. But when you put these on this guy here, you should see some reading. Okay? Any reading. If you see zeros, sometimes it's okay because the ohm reading is very, very low. But if it's open like this, you have a problem in the coil. Okay? I hope it makes sense. And also what you can do also, you need to check if the coil is shorted to the main chassis. So for example, if I find the common here, let's say the common is here. I'm gonna turn the power. I think the power is off. Let's say I found the common. Okay, common is the light blue, right? So what I'm gonna do, I just wanna make sure the coil, because remember that coil has to be 100% insulated from the metal here, or the body of the gas valve. So if I put this on the common, for example, like this, right? And I put this here on the chassis. See, it has to be open. Remember, 0.L is no connection. So if I put this here, we should have. Oh, actually, it's the other way around. Sorry. So this basically is the common. So actually, that's a good point here. So that tells me the ground is 100% healthy. But if you go from the other one, right? Sorry, I confused you, but I was doing it the other way. We should go to the load, which is the other one. So if we put this here, and see, it should be open like this. That means the coil is not connected to the chassis of the I don't know if you can see it, right? 0.L. That means the coil is completely 100% separate from the chassis. If you see any reading when you do these two, that means there's something wrong. Now, if you want to make sure your ground is healthy, you go to common and you put on a chassis, and you should have 100% short. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, and remember, these are the things that you need to know. And as far as removing the gas valve is easy. I will show you in a minute how to remove it. And also, I will show you when I was talking about the in-shot burners, how they get dirty, the gas pathway. Okay, so give me a minute. I'm going to have to turn the power off. So in the real world, you're going to have a pipe and you're going to have a union, if you know what I'm talking about. Union is something like this. But of course, this is it's going to be for water. But you're going to have a union in here. You can have disconnected, right? But in my case, I just have to turn the gas off, and I have a rubber hose, and this is temporarily. So let me show you how to remove the gas valve. Now, never, something I see in many cases where people try to remove the gas valve while it's still installed into the furnace. Like they go like this, right? Like let's say you want to remove it. Never do that because you don't have a lot of leeway. And it's very easy to remove the whole thing, put it on the floor, and you can use your weight, your body, so you're gonna have a better leverage. But here, if I want to go like this, for example, right? If I go like this, let's say I'm going like this, right? Look how much stress I'm gonna put on the burners. Watch. See that? It's almost I'm gonna break the burners. Now imagine it's gonna be bigger. Now sometimes it's really hard, no matter how much. So what you can do, you can't remove the whole thing. The whole thing comes apart. I keep losing my go. This only 4 screws, right? Right? So these screws come off. Right? Don't lose them. Now you see the furnace, you're gonna remove the plug. is a plug, remove it, right? And this whole thing comes off. Now you can put this on the floor. I have a nice bench, but you don't have it maybe. So I'm gonna go like this in this case. I show you just for example. I show you if I go like this, right? And I put this on the floor, I can have a lot of leverage. So I can put my body, like I'm 183, right? So you can go like this, watch. And you can put your weight on it. Like if you go like this, see how easy? It's easy. And same thing when you go the other way around. And yet you can also sometimes use another small, I have it here. You can use a small one, right? You can hold it like that. And that will give you a better leverage too, right? So you can hold like this, right? And then you go like this. So now you can put your body like this. See how nice? Now I don't have to, if you're doing like this on the furnace, you don't have a lot of leverage. But here, you put it on the floor. Now I'm putting all my body on it. See that? So it comes off. I'm going to put the weight with my hand. And then same thing you do with the gas valve. Now when you remove the gas valve, you put your weight on it. See, like this. Now no matter how strong it is, I will take it apart. And if I have to, I can put this here. And I get a bigger one. I have a bigger one. If it's really, really tough one. So remember, always when you do this, do it on top of a table on the floor, because sometimes you think it's not going to come off, you leave it and it's going to fall. And then when this falls from your hand, the first thing is going to happen, this housing is going to crack. So when you're removing it, be careful. Don't let it fall down. So always remember also there is an arrow. There's an arrow in here. You have to follow it. This arrow has to go always to the direction of the manifold, okay? So it's going like this. So this is the arrow. Should go like this, right? Remember, the arrow should go facing the manifold. Now, I was telling you earlier, these can be plugged. As I was telling you, sometimes the igniter comes on, the gas valve open, and this maybe it's restricted. And people think, oh, you know what? Looks like the gas valve is bad but there's gas, but this guy is not able to shoot into to hit the igniter. So they change the igniter, they change a lot of stuff, and then at the end, I hate to be conceited, I go there, and this guy is plugged. I have to take it out and poke it with a fine steel wire. Okay, and then when you put it back, I don't really recommend to go crazy on this. Okay, just tight a little bit. Remember, it's a very low gas, because some people I have seen, they tighten it with a huge wrench. They think it's like a 2,100 psi, whatever. So when you do with this, I don't recommend this. It's better to use a pipe dope. I don't have it. Actually, I have it here. It's pipe dope. Basically, this one is better because it doesn't break. Right? You can go a little bit on here. But the only thing people hate this because it's messy. It's gonna have a lot of mess everywhere. But if you do this, if you put it wrong, like if you put too much on the front, and then when you tighten it, these are gonna break, and they're gonna go into the gas valve. So be careful. Always go clockwise with the tightening direction, right? When you do this, you have to go clockwise, same direction of the tightening. So you get the gas valve, if I can find it. Okay, so remember the arrow is facing always the manifold, right? So you go like this. Now remember, don't go too strong. Look, watch. I'm gonna go like this, right? Hand tight. It's almost there. And then I give it a small kick, right? So now I have to be sure. I have to make sure this is facing this way. So I'm almost there. I'm gonna give it another kick, right, like this. So I'm almost. This have to be the other way. So we're gonna go another turn. See, that's enough. That's it. So it has to be this way, which is good. Okay? And then you put these back. I don't need to put this back because I am going with Actually, you know what? It's okay. Okay. So same thing. Do not go crazy with the Teflon. Just make sure don't reach over the tip. Okay. Because again, you don't want it to start breaking apart and going into the gas valve. We like this. People like this because it's less messy. Okay, and then the elbow. Again, I show you when you tighten this. Like I'm gonna go hand tight, right? Like this. Now we have to be facing this way. I'm gonna go another. That's it. See, almost hand tight is enough. I'm gonna go just another half turn, and that's enough. Again, it's a very low gas pressure. See, that's almost too much already. But I have to face the other way, so I can put my pipe on it. See, that's perfect. Okay, make sure these are clean, and then we put it back, right? Now the thing you have to be careful of, you have to make sure these orifices go inside. I will show you in a minute what I'm talking about because you need to see it. So basically, it's almost there. Okay, so you have these 4 screws. Again, you're gonna have a pipe, you're gonna have a union, but don't forget, always you have to shut the gas off. Every furnace, I believe, by city code, every furnace has to have a shut-off valve for emergency. So I'm gonna connect my gas again, and we imagine like you already replaced the gas valve. Now the thing I want to tell you about the gas valve, another thing is sometimes, believe it or not, if the piping is outside and facing the element, and it's like a 16 degree or 0, or it's been cold for like a week or 2. Sometimes in Chicago it can go like 10 below, 20 below. For some reason, if the pipe is exposed to the element, like long pipe, let's say somebody installed a pipe to the garage, and they go all the way from the front of the house. Of course, here in Chicago or Illinois, in most states, they require you to dig in the ground almost 18 inches. You cannot just send a gas pipe into the outside for a long distance. But again, it depends on the city. But let's say somebody, his gas meter is on the front of the house, and he sent a 80 or 100 feet long pipe of these all the way to the garage, and they install a small furnace in the garage. Believe it or not, if it's like 0 or 20 below or 10 below for a few days or a week or 10 days, some reason, I don't know, guys, you put in a comment if it's happened to you. Sometimes the pipe inside the pipe, because of the moisture or something, it will freeze, and it will cause some kind of restriction for the gas to flow in your furnace. It happened to me. It was a rooftop, but again, rooftop, these are on the big plazas. Sometimes the pipe can be really long distance. I'm talking half inch. The bigger one doesn't happen. And maybe somebody used the same size for a long, half inch long distance. And I'm telling you, I had to warm that pipe and put insulation on it because it was every year or 2 they call me. It was completely restricted. That's one thing. Keep in mind, just in case if you have no gas. Just remember, if you have a long distance, it's the same size. See, the idea is if you're coming from all the way from the front of your house to the garage, I rather start with an inch for at least 10 feet. And then I reduce it to 3/4, another 10, 20 feet. And then I do half inch. If you go half inch, again, correct me guys if I'm wrong. If you do half inch all the way from there, 100 feet, and it's cold and it's facing the element, it might freeze. Okay, so that's all for the gas valve. As I was telling you, if you want to check the power to the gas valve, you find the common, you put the multimeter, you should see 24 volt on it. If you see 24 volt is not doing anything, most likely it's a bad gas valve. So let's go ahead and do the next video. I'm going to show you how to remove the inducer motor.